I'm from a pretty white trash part of East Texas, like the kind of white trash where your Sunday school teacher and your first kiss is usually the same person. My Aunt Carol, actually. I'm so glad you could be here, Carol. You guys give it up for Carol. Give it up for Carol, you guys. Let her hear it. Not a great Sunday school teacher. Hell of a kisser. And I was going to bend down and like pretend to kiss you, but I realized real quick, that's just sexual assault. But no, I was raised really white trash here in East Texas. Like for the first 5 years of my life, I grew up in government apartments raised by a single mom in the 90s, okay? Before parenting is what it is today. Like in the 90s, that shit was being beta tested. But whoever was off work when my mom was gone at our apartment complex, like that's who our babysitter was. So my sister and I would wake up in the morning to a stranger sitting on our couch, smoking a cigarette, just like, "You kids ever stripped copper before?" It is a miracle that we did not get molested. Way more. I feel some of you clench up during that joke. We'll say, for the 5 of you, you're good people. The rest of you are scum. We ended up moving because my mom married my stepdad, who's a Pentecostal preacher. Do you guys know what Pentecostal is? Are you familiar? Okay. Just like normal church, right, Carol? If everyone was on acid. Like, it's the craziest place you'll ever go. Like, people are running laps around the building. They're dancing in the spirit. It's like going to a really bad rave. But you're there with your grandparents for some reason. And they speak in tongues, which is wild. I started going to that church when I was 6 years old, okay? No one told me why we were doing that or what was going on. So I spent most of my childhood thinking that we were Hispanic. But I was raised pretty much by my stepdad. But like my real dad was in my life on and off, you know, like enough to cause some childhood trauma. It made for really unbalanced raising, to be honest with you. Like I have my stepdad who's very religious, and then I have my real dad who probably has all of your social security numbers. He can't hack into any of my accounts because all of my passwords are my birthday. I see you're all bastard children too. But my stepdad's very inspirational. He always has been for like my whole life. Like he'll call and say stuff like, "Michael, just trust in God. He'll always be there for you." And then my real dad will call once a year. One clap, that's great. Then my real dad, he'll call once a year and he'll call and say stuff like, "This is a collect call from the Dallas County Jail." But neither one of them really taught me how to do anything in my life. Like my wife, she knows how to change her own oil. My real dad taught me how to evade child support for 18 years. But one thing that my real dad, and when I say real, like biological, my biological dad did for me was he got me my first job. And it was a very strange job. I worked at a baked potato restaurant. Carol, do you want to guess what we sold at this baked potato restaurant? Baked potatoes, guys. She said baked potatoes. You're close. No, we sold meth. Yeah, we sold meth at this baked potato restaurant. The owner used and sold it out of there for like 15 years, okay? I had no idea what was going on. I was a naive 16-year-old Pentecostal kid, you know? But like looking back as an adult, there were some very vivid signs I was missing. You know, like you could get a loaded baked potato, $12. You could add bacon bits for $300. The drive-through line's just all shirtless white guys on bicycles. Like, you know who loves baked potatoes? The scab community. I know that's a pretty gross joke, guys, I'm sorry. I just heard a bunch of people just like, ugh. But you'll laugh at child molestation. That's what kind of crowd we are. I'm actually from a town called Grand Saline, Texas. Yeah, I wouldn't clap, sir. Do a quick Google search, then get back with me, okay? Pretty small town. You can tell it's a small town because half of the population is legally named Bubba. And I don't know if you guys have ever spotted a Bubba out in the wild, but they're always wearing the same outfit, right? Overalls and Crocs. Which that is an outfit that says, delete my search history, okay? But like I've got Bubbas in my family too, and they've never once given me any kind of information that I need to know. You know, they've never been like, hey Michael, here's what you want to know about Roth IRA. I've had them send me a picture of a shit they took. And I didn't date a lot in Grand Saline either, mainly because I've always looked like this, like a youth pastor who probably has some sexual allegations against them. You know, I look like I give a lot of kids guitar lessons. The three of you who laughed have also gotten guitar lessons. That's what that means. But I didn't date a lot because Grand Saline's a pretty small town, right? It's a pretty small town. It's hard to date in a town like that. You go on a couple of dates, you're like, man, we got along so well. We have so much in common. DNA. Another red flag was we had the same last name. So, but I still fingered her because I'm a Christian. My daddy raised me right. I got picked on a lot in school too, as you can imagine, because I was in band. I was in high school band and I played saxophone. And kids would call me gay for playing saxophone, which I didn't realize saxophone was like a cornerstone of the gay community. But in my defense, I've never had a gay guy come up to me and be like, I like two things, okay? Hard cock and smooth jazz. So I ended up getting tired of getting picked on, so when I graduated high school, I joined the United States Marine Corps. Thank you. Not necessary, I didn't do much. I signed a few papers. I let an 80-year-old man look directly inside my butthole while I did a duck walk, like that. To then find out he didn't even work for the government. I was like, do you happen to babysit in the 90s by any chance? But no, I joined the Marines because I was like, man, I gotta go someplace that's gonna toughen me up. I gotta go someplace that's gonna make a man out of me. I gotta go someplace where no one will ever call me gay again. We got a veteran in the audience. I went to the gayest place on earth, you guys. Immediately when I got there, they stripped my clothes off. They were like, all right, Morgan. And they put me in this weird conga line of about 40 other naked men that they called nut to butt. I'll paint you a picture. So if you're a good person, your hand's covered in your crotch, okay? But it's just a bunch of 18-year-old guys standing like this, praying the same prayer. Just, God, if you're real and you do love me, don't let me get hard. So I'm an atheist.